I mean, how you feel about the draft, man? How you feel about Cam going number 1? It was pretty predictable.
Well, I mean, that's something that I feel like we already knew what was going to happen. That's, hey, and shout out to Warren Moon giving him that jersey, that number 1. Yeah. That's something that's good in his spirits right there. But, yeah, I like the fact that he went out there to Tennessee. He looks like a Titan anyway.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, he really, really does.
I like it too. I think it was the best fit for him. Match made in heaven. They wanted him. He wanted to be there. Hey, let's run. Don't waste a lot of time thinking about it. Get it done. Now, how about number 2? Your boy Trav.
Yeah, I like that too. He's back home. Back home where he can go fish.
My bad.
In Florida. They're going to let him play both ways, which is lit too.
That part.
Man, I think that's super cool.
That part.
And on top of that, they was talking about how he could just be himself.
Yeah. And he at home.
Yep.
I think the both ways part is the biggest. I think that's the biggest key. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted somebody to give him an opportunity to do it. Yep. I like Jacksonville. I think they're young. I think they're building. I think they got a good quarterback. Woo!
Yeah, they do.
Which is the biggest factor to me in moving the sticks. Having a good QB. I think he's in a good spot. Oh, I did see something that I liked that made me like to pick even more. He doesn't have to be a number 1 guy.
Yeah,
as a rookie. He could come in and got a number 1 receiver. They got a number 1 cornerback already. So he could come in and be a little more comfortable and have an opportunity to learn and grow at the same time. So I like it.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence got him another weapon.
Yes, sir.
Which is going to be great. Defense got themselves a dynamic player.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it's an energy thing. You got somebody in there with that type of energy. It brings a different type of style to the whole team, really.
100%. Now, number 3, you got
Abdul Carter.
Abdul Carter, New York.
Well, shout out to the Giants in general because they actually had a pretty good draft.
They did.
So I like that. Got themselves another D lineman. Makes you think about whenever the Giants had Jason Pierre-Paul and Michael Strahan.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So they're building up that D-line.
JPP.
When it comes to winning Super Bowls, they're right in tradition for their team. Just like how I talk about like Dallas. Dallas's tradition is a really good defense, a really good running game. We can win some Super Bowls.
Right.
The Giants, a really good defensive line, an offense that can kind of sustain drives.
Yep.
All of a sudden, then they too can win Super Bowls.
100%.
So I really love it for both.
I do too. You know what I love? You know what I loved about this year's draft? I loved about this year's draft. It was a lot of bigs.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
Yeah.
What fans need to know, outside the entertainment aspect, that's where football games are won.
Yes.
That's where dynasties are built.
Mm-hmm.
At the line in the trenches.
Yeah.
You don't have a good sturdy foundation, house built on sticks. The wind will come, blow it over. Playoffs will come, smack you over. One injury gonna come, smack you over.
Yes.
Okay? You have a good foundation. This is what the top teams should be doing. Teams that have losing records because they don't have a good foundation should be building foundationally. We should see a lot of tackles and guards, D tackles, edges, tight ends. We should see that. Top 20, top 30, first 2 rounds. For those teams that need it, we should be used to that.
Yeah.
But it's an entertainment sport. Nobody really wants to see the big guys, but we don't watch them. We don't know what they look like outside the helmet, right?
Yeah.
We don't have the name. Edges are getting a little better now because it's set on that island.
Yeah.
It's a little bit individualistic, you know.
Yeah.
But I like that component of the draft. A lot of bigs going. I think it's surprising the most. I think it's going to create better football. I think we're going to see more teams competing and winning.
Mm-hmm.
Less blowouts, less of a dominance hierarchy, right? It's going to be like, hey, man, you got to dog it out. Yo, for whoever you coming up against is tough.
You got to have big boys in the trenches, bro.
For sure.
That's so important. Yep. You have them. Now you can figure out how to control the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
Because that's really what it's about. Makes me think about the Bucks got two big dudes. They both over 350 pounds. And all I was thinking was, they getting ready for the tush push.
They getting ready. What's up?
They getting ready. Y'all ain't going to be doing all that against us.
Hey.
Then on top of that, on goal line, we're going to for sure make sure that we're going to be plugging. At least give our other defenders a chance. Which is real.
Fact. Snag that.
For real.
You know what also too? What I think contributes is the fact that we're in the we were just in the Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady era, right? Yep. After Mahomes, who's gonna be the next stud? I mean, after Tom Brady, who's gonna be the next stud? Mahomes, right? And so with those two quarterbacks, rightfully so, we're looking like that's the most impactful position on the field. Mm-hmm. Because an exceptional player at the QB position showed Super Bowls being won, right? Tom, Pat. Now we're starting to see dominance can be had in other areas of the field. We're starting to see defense win championships.
Yeah.
Had a pitch shutout.
Yeah.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're starting to see that the O-line and trenches matter. You get pushed around again and again and again. Oh, should we stop the tush push? Yeah, but stop it on the field. Don't stop it by whining to the ref. It's a man on man. If they get down like this, you know what I'm finna do? I'm finna get down like this.
No, for real.
If they down like this, you know what I'm finna do? I'm finna get down like this. No. One way or another. Man to man.
Straight facts, bro.
I'm putting it on the line. You got 10 people behind him. You know what we're gonna do? LBs, I'm behind you.
Facts.
You know what we're gonna do?
Facts.
After he jumped over and hit him, I think it was a dirty play. But he did it again and again. As a defensive player, I respected it.
Yeah.
He sent a message.
Yep.
Y'all ain't finna keep on doing this.
Facts, bro.
You gonna feel something. You gonna feel something. And you know what happens after you get done feeling a lot of something? You stop doing it.
Facts, bro.
You stop going as hard. You know, them linemen might have had a headache now. You done had to put a concussion on one of them. Now they think twice about doing it. Now they're not coming as hard. Right? All of a sudden they're not passing them sticks. And sometimes it take that. And so I like that. Now we're in a league where they see that the trenches matter, defense matters, and we see a lot of defenders going and linemen going. We see a natural adaptation.
That's where it's at, bro. Gotta have that. Gotta have them big boys in the trenches.
Hell yeah. Got to. Talk to me about your boy. Talk to me about Superman. Fifth round Superman.
Oh yeah. That boy Shador. Hey, you know what? I think it was already destined for him to go to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Literally, you know, I feel like there's a little bit of chaos in between it. He draws a lot of attention, so to speak. But I think that's good for the NFL.
Yeah.
I feel like one thing the NFL has to kind of see, if he's drawing a lot of attention, y'all gonna get more views.
More views.
Y'all gonna get more views. We talking about a kid that hasn't been in trouble, has a 70% completion rating this past season, which is very hard. I don't care if you have an O lineman or no O line.
Come on, man.
70+% in completion rating is very tough. I don't care if it's short, intermediate throws. I don't care if it's down the middle. I don't care where those balls are getting thrown at. That's very tough to do, especially in Power 5 Division I football. So if you can do that kind of stuff in a pro-style offense, and you go into the pros, you're going to be just fine. I feel like if anything, Cleveland, they most definitely got themselves a steal.
Man, they got them a steal. They know it. Yeah, bro. Once they were done trying to send that message, once they were done trying to send that message like the league was trying to send,
Yep.
I think once it's all said and done, and they'll realize, hey man, we got an asset. No, whether they keep him or trade him, we got an asset. You know, we can silence all the noise. We're gonna let all the other channels talk about all the noise. We already know the noise. We just gonna send good vibes. Hey man, shout out, congratulations to everybody that was drafted and everybody that got signed in free agency. That's a big accomplishment, man. It is. You know, shout out to their families and their hard work, the determination, the resilience. Right? Shout out to the guys not getting talked about, that put in the same amount of time and effort.
Man.
And it's harder when you don't have a name, when you don't have a platform.
Yes.
Shout out to them too. You know what I'm saying? But good for him. He went to Cleveland. I think, honestly, that's a good fit. They have a lot of talent. They need a quarterback. It's a crowded QB room, so we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do.
They picked up 2 good running backs. One from Ohio State.
Yeah.
And one from Tennessee.
Yeah.
They already got David Njoku at tight end.
Come on now.
They picked up another tight end from Bowling Green.
Come on now.
They got some speed on him.
Come on now.
He's kind of a hybrid tight end.
Come on now.
But I think that's perfect in a league where it's turning almost into a pass-first offense.
Right.
So that's perfect. I feel like he's going to fit right in. The O-line is respectably good. They have a great defense. They've added on to their defense. Cleveland, they have the potential to do a lot of great things.
They really do.
As long as they just trust the process.
That's it.
But yeah, to your point, when you're talking about the players that, you know, the undrafted free agents.
Yeah.
People got to understand, them undrafted free agents, they some hungry dogs.
They some dogs.
So nobody's safe. I don't care if you're a first rounder or an undrafted free agent, nobody's safe, because I feel like the players that are a little bit further in the draft are the players, yeah, they got a chip on their shoulder, but they're going to be a little bit more hungrier. A little bit more hungrier. So
for sure.
Shout out to Shiloh Sanders going out there to Tampa.
Come on now.
Yeah. Shout out to Will Shepherd. I think he went out there to Jacksonville. So they're both out there in Florida. Yeah. I love that for them because they're going to be hungry and they're going to be ready to make some things shake. And I just love it for them.
I love it.
I love it for him. Shout out to LeJohntay Wester.
Yeah.
Going out there to Flock Nation out there to Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Jimmy Horn.
Yeah.
Going out there to Carolina.
Yes, sir.
Hey, that's Carolina. Carolina looking good. Dog. Yes. Hold up. I like what they put around Bryce Young.
They better watch out for Carolina next year now, because Bryce Young done figured it out.
Dog.
He said, I get it now. I get it now. And we saw he gets it now.
I understand.
The way he finished the season with the legs,
man,
he gets it now. You got to be faster. You got to be faster. Read, check down.
That's what's interesting. Towards the end of last season, he started to figure it out, and I love that. Just before you go into the off-season training, they gave him a tall receiver threat that's kind of like a Mike Evans. I think his name McMillan from Arizona.
Oh, I seen him
from Arizona.
Tatoria
McMillan, I believe. So they got him.
He's an athlete.
Straight athlete. You got Jimmy Horn, who's a speedster. Oh. So you're giving Bryce a little bit of everything. And I love that, because you got to have different styles of receivers depending on different games, playing different style of defenses who may be weak at certain type of schemes versus certain offenses. Some defenses, they can cover the speedsters. Yeah, sure. Some defenses, they can't cover the big body receivers.
They don't have size at cornerback.
Bingo.
Everybody has their strengths.
Bingo.
When you have multiple strengths in different areas, you can exploit weaknesses.
Yes.
That's the big point.
Yes, bro.
That's a big point.
I love that for them.
They still got Thielen out there that experience.
Mm-hmm.
And Thielen, to me, I mean, I think they bought him low, because coming off that injury, like, he's a dog.
Yeah.
You know, as far as like his craft, his artistry in the game, like his route running. Thielen was, when he was at the Vikings, people forget.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Thielen, I remember he was number one on the doggone fantasy boards for at one point in time.
Yep.
Who you wanted to get was Thielen. And they got Thielen in that room teaching those youngsters, and they got dogs as youngsters. Not guys we don't know, not guys we don't see, but guys that are really talented athletes.
Dog.
Man, they're going to be nice next year.
They're going to be nice, bro.
Nice next year. They got a good running back in Trevor Hubbard. He showed he can ball. Woo! They got a tight end.
Man.
I would focus all defense now from this point on with them.
Carolina?
Or linemen.
Yeah.
O-line and defense.
You know, that's what I liked about this draft is the fact that there was a lot of defensive players that was getting off the board early.
Yeah.
And I love that. I was like, I see how the NFL is really seeing these NFL teams like, hey, we don't have a defense. We don't got anything.
You can't do much.
Yeah.
In the Bengals.
Yeah. I love that. But I'll tell you this. The O-line, the big boys, the interior front, I love that.
Yeah.
And I just want to talk about Dallas for a moment.
Yep.
Shout out to Dallas.
For sure.
Because a lot of I don't think a lot of people know, a lot of fans really know. I know Dallas gets a lot of O-linemen first round, second round.
Oh, yeah.
They do that kind of stuff a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But they always, for the most part, turns to Hall of Famers. And not to mention, Jerry Jones was also an offensive lineman himself when he used to play. And you know what's really cool about it? Dallas got the fastest running back in the NFL draft. What? Yeah. They got that, what I like to call that old Velociraptor out there from Texas, Jaden Blue.
Oh.
Yes.
Speed is different, bro.
Speed is different.
Speed is different.
Now, I think
you learn how to use them?
Man, I think he ran a 4.38 at the NFL Combine, but I think at the Texas actual Combine, I think he ran a 4.25 from what I saw. I don't think people understand that's a different kind of speed because what they could have,
is different.
what they could have themselves a Chris Johnson. And I'm talking about the Tennessee Titans old Chris Johnson.
I remember Chris
because
Johnson.
anytime you have a good offensive line that's built first, if you have a running back with some speed, any type of crease, touchdown.
Goodbye. If he can get to the 3 yards without having to make a first move, that's the thing. If you got a speedster and he can get out the backfield without having to make a first move, somebody, you talking about he's in his stride after 3 yards. He's coming from the backfield. Now he's 5 yards. That's why they so nasty when you got an O-line, because he don't have to get it breaking stride. He catch that thing and yeah. Now, by the time the linebacker coming out the DN, it's foot race. It's too late. They coming off a block. Like, he's already in acceleration. It's a wrap. Speed kills, bro. Speed kills. And anybody on the board that run anything under a 4.3 or 4.4, they should take them off GP.
Yes.
Because what if you feel whatever gap you think he got? You still got 4.3?
Yep.
So if you think he's not strong, if you think he can't read, if you think he blah, 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 you don't know what type of coaching he had. He might have only made it this far for speed.
Yep.
What if you actually coach him with your professional coaches? What if you actually feed him and get him on some weights and put 20 pounds on him?
Facts.
He's still 4.3 and you can't teach 4.3.
You can't
You
teach
teach him all that other stuff. You can teach him how to read film, teach him how to make his hands better, put some gloves on him.
Yep.
But you can't teach 4.2 nothing.
No, it made me think about, so Jaden Blue, he kind of reminds me of Jeff Dimps. That used to be at Florida. He was a speedy running back for the Florida Gators. And that's exactly who he reminds me of.
Who's that?
Jaden Blue reminds me of Jeff Dimps.
Oh, yeah.
He was a track star type running back. They used to play for Florida.
Yeah.
And as soon as he would get any type of open space, he'd be gone every single time. That reminds me of Jaden Blue. And so it also reminds me of, like, when Ezekiel Elliott, whenever he first came to Dallas, the type of O-line they had for him and Dak Prescott, they're trying to rebuild that up. In my opinion, for Dak Prescott, if you give him a good offensive line, but you give him a good solid running back, he may be able to resurrect that same dominance that he had his first few seasons in the league. But you got to put some people around him.
Nobody talks about that.
They don't talk about that.
We want to trash bag him, but we don't want to talk about that.
Yes, dog.
We don't want to talk about that. The defense has been so dominant for so long, we've overlooked the holes in the offense. Yeah. And we've all put the only blame on Dak. Yep. Because the defense has been dominant enough to keep them so competitive. So now when he has bad games, you're the reason why the season's shit.
Nah, for real.
That's a good point.
Yeah, man, and I love it. I was all like, man, I've learned how to respect the way they have been doing their drafts over the years when it comes to interior front. You got to do that. You got to get your big boys, because if you ain't got your big dogs, it ain't going to work. You know who's the blueprint these days?
Ooh.
Philadelphia Eagles. You know why they can do the tush push so dominantly? I think everybody on that offensive line average at least 6'5", 330.
Come on, man.
That's just a different animal. So you got guards at 6'5", and then tackles maybe 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
And then your center is around 6'4", 6'5", somewhere in there itself. That's a lot of meat and potatoes that's pushing through every single time. And it's going hard to kind of stop that. That's the reason why the running game is great. That's why Saquon went crazy last year.
Saquon went crazy.
Not saying Saquon couldn't do that if he didn't have the greatest offensive line, but imagine a running back like Saquon with an offensive line like that. That's what you have.
Saquon